Hey everyone, it is good to be back with you. Man, it's been about almost a week since I did a video. A lot of things going on. We're in the process right now of a new business startup, so you know how that goes. So much work to be done, research, dealing with attorneys and all these sorts of things. It's a lot of work just to even get a business plan together and to get it up and running and all that sort of thing. So anyway, very, very busy with all that. My water heater looks like it's on the fritz. It's leaking water, so I'll probably gotta have a new water heater. Anyway, lots of things going on. Just very distracting the past week. But I want to get back with you today and just kind of do a little review of the first 30 days of Trump's administration. So we hit his first month here about a week or so ago. And I think things are moving along very well. Obviously, the Democrats are holding up a lot of cabinet appointments, but things are moving forward. And one thing I really noticed that's been happening in the last week or two specifically is we're starting to see the protests are drying down. There's still the crazies out there in certain parts, but you see the amount of protest and the number of protests are going down. They're starting to face the reality that Donald Trump is the president. They're not going to be able to run him out of town or impeach him or any of this other stuff. First of all, they don't have the votes in Congress. And there's a couple of turncoat Republicans who would probably join the Democrats. Some of them are named Lindsey Graham and John McCain. But anyway, most people know that they're crazy anyway. So don't think I have to worry too much about those guys. But you people in those two states, South Carolina and Arizona, you need to keep those two turncoats in line. You need to stay on their ass because they are the enemy, unfortunately. But you folks, unfortunately, too many of you reelected those guys and they never should have been reelected. But we got them to deal with. But anyway, yeah, there was a big protest that was supposed to happen this past weekend up in New York. The weather was beautiful. It was like 60-something degrees. And they only had 24 people show up. So we are starting to see the protests die down quite a bit. They're finally starting to accept the reality, and hopefully they'll get back to doing something with their lives besides, obstructing travel and traffic and causing property damage, attacking people on the streets, and all the other bad things that they're doing. Hopefully they'll actually get busy directing their energies towards something a little more positive and something that might actually benefit them, because Trump ain't going nowhere. Okay, a couple things I want to touch on real quickly. I've had some friends in circles that I run in that the last couple days, based on the comment made by Sean Spicer, that the Justice Department would be dealing with the states that have been legalizing recreational marijuana, and that they were going to enforce the federal law. And I think this is a little bit of trickery going on here. I don't expect to see the Trump administration, even though I'm not a fan of Jeff Sessions. I don't expect that the Trump administration is going to be going out and going after these, certainly the medicinal marijuana clinics or anything like that. And even the recreational, I don't see it happening. I think that was to appease his base and to the moralists and the right-wingers and stuff like that. I think ultimately what Trump said, though, is he's going to enforce the law. So what I'm looking for is at some point, I don't know that will happen in his first term or even before, certainly not before the midterm elections, but I think at some point we are going to see Donald Trump will probably, at the federal level, either reclassify marijuana down or decriminalize it altogether, because it's the way that things are going. Over 60%, the last poll I saw was 61% of the people support decriminalization or legalization. You have now 28 states that have medicinal. I guess there's 4 or 5, maybe 6 that have recreational. And that trend is the trend. It's going to continue. And I think Donald Trump is smart enough politically to know that that there's a lot of votes there. There's 20 to 30 million recreational marijuana users. And probably a lot of those people voted for Trump. If he starts sending in the feds to upset their apple cart, he will likely face a backlash, and I think he knows that. Also, we have to look at the type of money, the type of revenues that are being generated. It's a brand new industry, and you have several different things going on. You have the recreational side, you have the medicinal side, but you also have the other product, hemp, which can be used to create an entirely new industry. It can be used for fuels. It can be used for products that used to rely on petroleum-based products can now be used. You can use hemp and hemp oil and things like that. So I think it's. I think we're going through a bit of an adjustment now. We're making that transition more towards a legalization, and I don't see the Trump administration using the heavy hand to try to reverse a trend that is it's bigger than federal law or anything like that. I think that a lot of times people move government policy, and when a large enough number of people believe in something and they want to see it happen, it drives public policy. And right now, it's moving in the direction of states wanting to decriminalize or legalize. And that's the direction that the people, majority of people, are now wanting to take it. And I don't see the Trump political team wanting to buck that. I think you'll see him crack down on Oxycontin, hard drugs, heroin, and things like that. But I see the marijuana issue continuing the direction it's going in. I don't see them reversing that, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. A couple appointments that I'm not very happy with. Of course, I mentioned Jeff Sessions. I've never really liked Jeff Sessions. Not that I don't think he's a straight-up honest person. A lot of things that he believes in, I don't believe in. I wouldn't say a lot of things, but there's several real key things. One of them, of course, is the marijuana issue. I'm a libertarian, so I don't want the government telling me what I can eat, drink, smoke, or screw, or anything else. So, anyway, I don't like Nikki Haley. I've never liked Nikki Haley. I think she's a neocon. I know where the money came from that bought her her previous position in politics. And I don't like those people. And so I knew I wouldn't like her. Her line is exactly the same line as the last woman we just got rid of, Samantha Power, and of course you had Victoria Nuland and all these people. I didn't like them, and Putin made them look like a fool, and Lavrov as well. Very skilled diplomat, ran circles around him, as we've seen, and I think that they'll do the same thing to Nikki Haley. This idea that we're going to try to play hardball with the Russians is not the reality anymore. You can't isolate Russia, or Iran for that matter. You can't isolate these people anymore. We used to be able to do that. We can't do it anymore. They have too many friends, too many big friends. Russia's a huge exporter of oil and gas to Europe. Russia just has too many cards to play. Putin's a smart guy. They have still a long way to go. They have a lot of work to do. They do rely too much on petroleum and natural gas. They got so far behind the rest of the world in so many areas of commerce and business and industry during the years of the Soviet Union that I don't know if they'll ever get caught up. But they have a lot of problems in Russia. But one thing that we know about Vladimir Putin is he doesn't perceive himself or his country as being weak. And he's a nationalist, just like Donald Trump is a nationalist. And the man's going to take care of his business, and he's not going to roll over, and he's not going to get played, and you're not going to push him around. So the fact that Nikki Haley is out there saying, yeah, well, we want to talk about Crimea, Ukraine. Look, Crimea is a done deal, okay? The people in Crimea had a referendum. They voted to be with Russia, and that's the way it's going to be. And it's not going to change. I don't care what kind of pressure we try to put on. It will do us no good. It will not help the relationship. It will gain us absolutely nothing. Nikki Haley should, and whoever is advising her, should sit down and rethink that entire position. With Iran, it's the exact same thing. You cannot isolate Iran anymore. We've been trying it since 1979. It doesn't work. They have too many friends. They have too many people they can deal with. Too many ways around sanctions and other things like that. And of course, that goes back to this other video series I did, which I still have one video left yet to do on Iran and the U.S., and I'll get that done probably this weekend. So anyway, not happy with Nikki Haley. Don't like Jeff Sessions. I kind of liked Flynn. I was sad to see him go. We'll see what McMaster is all about. I'll be interested to see who Donald Trump appoints as the head of the DEA. That will tell us a lot about how they're going to go with scheduling marijuana and how they're going to look at that issue. I wish Donald Trump would talk to Rand Paul about this issue. I mean, I think it's an issue. Rand Paul is really way ahead of the Republican Party on this. And, I mean, he's a smart guy. He can make a good argument. I think Trump will listen to him, and I certainly hope we see that happen. Still waiting to see what General Mattis is going to do. I mean, I know they're putting together a plan right now to attack ISIS. I like the idea that they're not talking about it. That's a good plan. I like the idea that they're keeping it very quiet what they're going to do. But I do expect to see that there's probably going to be a major offensive against Al Qaeda, ISIS sometime in the next 30 to 60, probably no more than 90 days. By the middle of the summer, I think that we're going to do something really militarily, really heavy duty against ISIS in Iraq, Syria, and other places. So looking forward to that. Let's see. Yeah, Obamacare. Obamacare is moving right along. Donald Trump has a good plan. It's on his website, or at least it was there back 2 months ago. I'm very disappointed in the Congress. Of course, you know, I don't like Paul Ryan. I really don't like many Republicans in Congress either. But they've had 6 plans for about 5 years. And when you listen to Paul Ryan, that's what he says. Well, we have 6 plans. And we're going, well, Paul, you've had 6 freaking plans for about 5 years now. A long time ago. In fact, as soon as Donald Trump was elected and they knew that he was going to be repealing Obamacare, that's when they should have got together and said, okay, we got these 5 plans. Let's get together with the people who put these 5 plans together, maybe get a committee of 20, 30 people and sit down and hammer that out and come up with one plan. They had Donald Trump's plan on the website. They could have included that and said, okay, well, here's what the president's going to be pushing for. Here is the other 5 plans. Let's take a look at all the things that these 5 plans have in common. And we'll start right there. Okay, we have all the things that these 5 plans have in common that they all pretty much agree on. There's a basis to start, and then you say, okay, now where's the other areas of this reform that are where there's differences of opinion? Then you hash that out, you work out those differences, you come to a consensus, and you get a plan. But unfortunately, the Republican Congress, I mean, these guys are lazy. They're not used to working, and they're going to have to get used to working. Like I said, I don't like Paul Ryan. He's horrible. But I think Trump's going to have to put his foot up Ryan's ass and say, look, you got 5 plans sitting over there in the Congress. Get your people together and take a look at my plan. Here it is. Sit down, come to a consensus. When you get some sort of consensus going, then let's sit down, let's have a series of meetings, and let's hammer it out and let's get it done. This stuff could get done, man. It really could. They're pitiful, unfortunately. So hopefully you people in Wisconsin will throw Paul Ryan out at the very next available opportunity. So anyway, there's just kind of a recap on what I think about what's going on and where we're moving at this point. I think the next big thing is the budget. I think we'll start seeing something happen with the wall in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I think we're going to probably see Obamacare repeal plan probably in the next 30 days. So Trump's doing exactly what he said he would do. He's moving forward. I love the way he's handling the media. Or the fake media, that is. I like the way he's standing up to them. I hope he continues to do it. And if you look at the overall picture, even with all the negative press he's been taking, he's still holding up around a little over 50%. I think he's gaining some support rather than losing. I think he's delivering to his base. And I think over time, he'll pull more people in once he starts really delivering on some of his economic programs and things like that, and people start seeing improvements and growth in the economy. So anyway, I think things are going pretty well at this point. If I had to give Trump a grade on his report card, I would have to give him a B. There's a couple things I don't like, mainly his appointments, cabinet appointments, but other than that, I think he's doing a pretty good job against a very difficult situation. He has a lot of opposition from the establishment of both parties, from a lot of heavy players. But he's manning up, and he's I think doing the very best he can. So I have no problems at all with where he's at right now. So anyway, it's good to be back with you again today, and I'll finish up the final Iran-U.S. video on Sunday. Sort of recap everything and take a look at where that relationship might be going. And hopefully next week I'll be able to do more videos than I did this week, because there are some other issues I want to touch on as well. Alrighty, y'all have a good one. Bye.